I remember a time where I didn't really know what was happening in my mind and my body. And I know for me now, that seems very I don't know. It seems like first of all, distant past, but also it seems like I don't understand how that could have possibly been the case, being, where I am now. Now, if you're listening to this podcast, you're aware of what you're thinking and you're aware of what you're feeling. But I remember for 43 years not doing anything I could to distract myself from what was happening in my mind and my body. And this is all reflective, right? So I don't know if you've ever experienced that you don't know what you want until after you get it, right? You didn't know what you really wanted, or you didn't see things clearly until after the fact. And then when you look back, you can see how everything lined up in a certain way. So this is kind of a little bit of hindsight, but looking back, and right now it's 2024, and I started this journey in 2016. But I could say that in March of 2016, when this whole thing started building and transforming, I didn't know what was happening in my mind and my body. I didn't understand what I was thinking, and I didn't understand what I was feeling. All I knew is, and what I know now is, when negative shit was happening in my mind, I would eat or drink or work or do something to eliminate that noise, watch some sports. And when I was feeling things I didn't want to feel, I would also do those things. I would eat and drink and anything, like chase my wife around for sex in the house, anything I could to numb what was happening in my mind and my body. And I didn't pay attention to what was happening. All I did was try to avoid it and try to numb it, try to run from it. And it wasn't until like after everything collapsed and I had a mentor who encouraged me to a high degree to sit down, close my eyes, sit in silence and stillness, and watch what was happening in my mind and my body, to literally become aware of what thoughts were happening in my mind and what feelings and emotions were happening in my body. And at first it was frightening and it was uncomfortable. It was the first time I had ever faced myself. And what I know is now is, looking back, it was freaking absolute chaos, like pure and utter chaos. The self-talk was so awful. I was punishing myself on a daily basis. And every thought I had was, I wasn't good enough. I wasn't enough. I wasn't worthy. I wasn't deserving. I wasn't lovable. All these stories, all these beliefs, all these just thoughts popping around, and all this, the feeling of shame in my body, like it permeated everything, and it permeated every facet of my life. And it wasn't until I started a process of self-mastery. And what that means is becoming the master of my mind and becoming the master of my emotions and of my body and of my life. Living an intentional, a purposeful, an intentional instead of reactionary life. Not just reacting to what shows up, but directing the flow of what shows up. And starting to, I guess, live life by design. And that all came from an element of self-mastery and understanding what was happening in my mind and my body. Now, until I was able to discipline my mind, until I was able to focus and sharpen my mind, until I was able to let go of thoughts that weren't true, until I was able to refocus my thoughts to what I wanted instead of what I didn't want, until I could do those things, my quality of life was pretty poor. My internal quality of life was pretty poor. And that's why I've named my business and this podcast Inner Wealth, because when you take control of what's happening in your mind and you start to direct the flow, and you take control of what's happening in your body and you start to direct the flow, then you can start to feel a sense of inner wealth and prosperity. You start to feel more love, more peace, more joy, more fulfillment. And these things are not based on your circumstances. They're based on your overall quality of consciousness, your quality of awareness. Now, in today's episode, I'm going to give you the 7, not the, but I'm going to give you 7 powerful tools that will help you do this. And when you implement these tools, when you utilize them on a daily basis in your life, 100% chance your mind will quiet, your body will become more clear. You will be less reactive to thoughts and less reactive to the emotions that seem to control most of humanity, where people are just slaves of these things and trying to avoid these things instead of understanding what's happening in their mind and body. If you implement these 7 things, I guarantee you your quality of life will get better. Number 1 is question every single belief you have. Don't accept any belief that you have. The best scientists in the world go to work every single day to disprove what they know. And it wasn't until I understood the shitty ass beliefs that I had, and I guess created less attachment to those beliefs, let them go and replaced them with higher level beliefs. Only then did life seem to start making a little bit more sense. And some of these beliefs were making money's hard. You got to work hard for your money. The rich are evil. If you ever made a mistake, you are completely broken. You are a product of your past. You're only as good as your past. That you have to earn worthiness. You have to earn value. You have to earn significance. These were all things that, marriage is hard. Life is hard. These are all beliefs that I once held that I got the choice to let go of and choose higher. And as I let go of these lower level, painful, less freeing beliefs, freedom-less beliefs, and chose higher, making money's easy. You don't have to work hard for your money. You can actually live in a state of passion and purpose, monetize that, and you can become very, very wealthy. Marriage isn't hard. We make it hard when it's not. It just takes communication. That you're not worthless. You're not valueless. You're not significantless. And I just made some of those words up. By being born, you hold innate worthiness, value, and significance. You don't have to earn these things. And you have nothing to prove to anybody, not even yourself. Challenge every single belief that you have about money and yourself and every aspect of life and choose higher. And if the belief doesn't create a sense of freedom, choose higher. Number 2, and this is all over every program that I have in my coaching practice. It's create a vision for your life. If you don't have a destination, if you don't have a destination, a destiny in mind, if you don't have a future state in mind, you'll never get there. Most people are waking up every day to avoid what they don't want. Very few people in this world are waking up to actually create what they do want and work towards what they do want, to choose towards what they do want. They're living in a state of reaction, and they're just literally looking to survive the day, looking to survive until the next paycheck, looking to survive until the next opportunity. Most people have no end goal in mind for their health, their wealth, the impact that they're making, the quality of their relationship. They may know what cars they want, and they may know how big of a house they want, but they don't know what they want for the emotions that they feel on a daily basis, and how clear their mind is, and how clear their emotions are, and how sharpened and focused and fine-tuned their body is. Most people know what they don't want, but they don't know what they want. It's really, really important to start to quiet the mind and start to take control of the body. It's really important to understand what you do want instead of just know what you don't want. Most people are focused on what they don't want. The very, very wealthy, successful, happy people that I know are always focused on what they want instead of what they don't want. And listen, number 3, once you have that vision for your life, This is where it gets really, really woo-woo. All right. Just stick with me. Visualization is a critical tool to help you start living that vision and making it a reality. Now, there's a part of your brain circuitry called the reticular activating system, the RAS. And what the reticular activating system is it helps your conscious mind understand exactly what you're looking to see every day. Listen, your conscious mind runs 5% of your life. That's the part that you're actually aware of. The subconscious mind runs 95% of your life. That's the part that you're unaware of, that you don't have immediate access to. The conscious mind processes 2,000 bits of data per second, while the subconscious mind processes 20 million bits of data per second. It's up to you to choose which 2,000 bits of data your conscious mind sees. And visualization helps your conscious mind start to be reconditioned and start to look for what you want in your life instead of what you don't want. When you get clear about the vision that you have for your life and you practice visualization, which is you could sit in, silent stillness for 15, 20 minutes, as long as you can stand it, and just mentally and emotionally rehearse already having it. And some of the most elite athletes use this exact process. There are teachers all around the world using this exact this exact process. Think and Grow Rich, one of the greatest self-help books of all time, talks about the power of visualization. You create a vision for your life, you practice visualization, and you'll start to tune your mind to look for exactly what you want, and then you'll find it. It's kind of like when you take a new car off of a dealership lot and you'd never seen this make and model before, but then suddenly you start seeing them everywhere. It's because your mind wasn't looking for them. They were there, but your mind was looking for other stuff. The 2,000 bits of data were looking for other stuff. And you just retuned your mind by purchasing this car. You just retuned your mind, and now you see them everywhere. Number 4 is when you experience a lower level thought or you experience a lower level emotion, immediately say switch and start to think a different thought and feel a different emotion. Now, this may seem insignificant, but every time you redirect your body to a higher level, you recondition it and reprogram it to live at that new baseline. And it's a process. It takes time. But when you switch your thoughts and you switch your emotions, and thoughts and emotions, when you are living consciously, they are choices, they are not outcomes. When you are living consciously, when you are living with a high level of consciousness, thoughts and emotions are not reactions. You can redirect them to what you want to think and what you want to feel. And every time you say switch and you switch that thought and think about what you want instead of what you don't want, every time you say switch, maybe you feel the emotion and then you say switch and you redirect it to something different. And then your thoughts create your emotions. So when you change your thoughts, you're going to change your emotions. But when you redirect your thoughts and your emotions, you're going to recondition. Over time, you're going to recondition your mind and body to live at a higher level and to perform and function at a higher level. It may seem insignificant in the moment, but it has a powerful, super, ultra powerful impact on your overall quality of life. Number 5 is speak differently about yourself. Now, when I first started this work, I had a mentor, and he asked me to go into my bathroom and look in the bathroom mirror and look in the mirror and say, I love you, and look myself in the eyes. And I couldn't even do it. All I did was like tears started just flowing out of my freaking eyes. I felt so shameful. I felt so broken. I felt so defective. I felt so weak that I couldn't even spit the words. I didn't feel lovable and I didn't feel loved. And I couldn't even spit the words out of my mouth to say these simple words, I love you. And that means there's issues with the programming and the beliefs that you hold deep inside yourself. Now, I listen to people's words because words are important. And when I hear them saying something self-deprecating, when I hear them saying something that puts themselves down, when I hear them saying something that shrinks themselves, I make sure they understand the power of words. Your subconscious mind is listening, and whatever you feed your subconscious mind, it believes. So if you keep saying, I'm sorry, instead of maybe if you do something that was inappropriate, say, please forgive me. But if you keep saying, I'm sorry, your mind basically starts to believe, yep, you're sorry. Which when I was growing up, if you said somebody was sorry, right, you're sorry. It was a put down. It wasn't just an apology. Instead of calling yourself stupid or an idiot, start to say higher level things, to start to reprogram the subconscious mind to think and feel and perceive you at a higher level. When you speak differently about yourself, your mind will start to rewire itself to perceive you and to allow you, enable you, empower you to operate at that higher level. But you must start to speak differently about yourself. Now, number 6. There's a great book by Dr. Benjamin Hardy, and it's called Be Your Future Self Now. And what this book states is that, and it's very simple, is that there's literally no reason for you to delay being the version of you that you want to be. Sometimes we feel that until we achieve something, until we accomplish something, until we accumulate something, we can't think a certain way. We can't, about ourselves especially. We can't feel a certain way. We can't act a certain way. We can't choose certain things. We have to almost like delay being this person until we have attained something. And then we'll be able to give ourselves permission. And this book, I love it. I love it. And we did a book study, and we studied this book in my Inner Wealth Mastermind book study. And in this book study, it was super powerful. There's an exercise that I take people through, and it was inspired by this book. It's go look at your vision that you created in step 2. Identify the version of you that's already created that vision. How does that person think and feel and act and behave? What choices do they make? What do they believe? And start being that person now. And that person, innately, what version of you is required in order to create your vision. So instead of the version of you being a byproduct of you creating your vision, become that version, and that version will create your vision. Be your future self now. There's no reason to delay being the version of you that you are capable of being. You don't need new circumstances in your life. You don't need evidence in your life to start being that version now. And number 7 is when I started this journey, I was 300 pounds. I was suicidal. I was drinking at toxic levels. I was so abusive to my body. And when you abuse your body, your mind's going to feel abused. It's going to perceive being abused. Your mind's going to, you neglect your body, you're going to neglect your mind. They're tied together. And when I started a process of letting go of some of the weight, letting go of some of the neglect, letting go of some of the pain that I was inflicting and damage that I was inflicting on my body, the mind started to clear too. And clear mind, clear body. Clean mind, clean body. Clear mind, clear emotions. Clear body, clear emotions. Clear mind, clear body. Clear body, clear mind, clear emotions. like they're all tied together. They are all tied together. And it starts with treating your body with respect. And it's very simple to treat your body with respect. Deep breathing, the acronym OWNER, OWNER, deep breathing, oxygen. Deep breathing every day, a couple times a day. 3, 4, 5, as many times as you can. Set an alarm on your phone for even 3, 5 minutes and just practice deep breathing. An oxygenated body will let go of anxiety. Water, hydrate. At least a half ounce or a half of your body weight in fluid ounces. A half ounce for every pound is what I was trying to say. Hydrate your body. Keep your body hydrated. A body that's dehydrated is in survival mode. When your body's in survival mode, your mind will go crazy trying to figure out how to get out of survival mode. Nutrition. Listen, test your body. Don't listen to any guidance in the world. I'm not a nutritionist, but what I know is if I look at every food pyramid, if I look at every chart, no matter what book I look at, they're all wrong in terms of what's required for me to maintain my physical stamina, energy, my resilience, my ability to show up and live a full and rich physical life. Get to know your body and feed it fuel. Don't feed it based on feelings or flavor. Exercise. There was about a 5-year period where I didn't exercise at all. And now I lift and run, sometimes lift and run in a day, but at least a lift or a run every single day. And I typically weigh in somewhere around 203 pounds, down from 300. And I'm more muscle now than I've ever been. Just because I got to know the foods that made my body, that fueled my body, and I started exercising to strengthen, and make my body more resilient, more firm. And last of all, but not least, rest. Get some sleep. Sleep. Give your body the rest it needs. There's plenty of time to sleep when you're dead. It's bullshit. That lowers your quality of life. Get some sleep. Those are the 7. Challenge your beliefs, create a vision, practice visualization, switch your thoughts and emotions, speak differently to and about yourself, assess your vision, and identify the future state of you, the future you required to create that vision, and be that person now. And for God's sake, start taking care of your body. Observation, not judgment. But I go to the grocery store and I see people putting so much processed garbage in their bodies. And we wonder why there's such a, we're such a disease-ridden society in a disease-ridden world. It's because we're putting processed, manufactured garbage into our body. For God's sakes, take care of your body. You only get one of them for the rest of your life. Guys, I hope this is helpful. Thanks for letting me jam. These will be outlined in the show notes. If you loved what you heard, subscribe, give me a like, give me a review. If you love what we're doing with Inner Wealth Global, reach out in the messages in the show notes. It says text message Mike, something to that effect. Drop a note there, reach out, let's get in contact, and let's jam. I not only just want to be heard, I want to interact and I want to work with people who love what I'm throwing down.